At the end of the campaign to stop genocide in 1994, that is around the 4th of July 1994, the picture that I remember vividly of how things were, of how Kigali was, is very difficult to tell. Dead bodies littered all over the place. People still hiding in bushes here and there. Scavengers, these birds that scavenge on dead bodies of all over the world had converged here to Rwanda. Dogs that had been, let free, feasting, eating dead bodies here and there. No water, no food, no electricity. Gunpowder was the scent around the town. So it was a very, very difficult situation. And just before that, when fighting was still going on between the RPA and the genocidal forces, there were so many ideas that were being fronted as a solution to Rwanda, to the problem of Rwanda. Some people were saying Rwanda can never stand to manage itself. Therefore, the best solution would be to take parts of Rwanda and annex them to the nearest countries bordering it. Parts bordering Uganda be annexed to Uganda, parts next to bordering Tanzania be annexed to Tanzania, to Burundi and DRC and so forth. These were the ideas. Ideas related to a state that is failing. Others were advancing the idea that, well, now that the RPF had captured part of Rwanda, the west, the east, the north, and part of the southern of Kigali, Rwanda could be split into two parts. The eastern be occupied by the remaining Tutsi who are not dead. The western be occupied by Hutus. How that could be done, I don't know. But that was a demonstration of a state that is failing. There was no hope for Rwanda. There was no hope ever for Rwanda. But when we look at Rwanda today, where we have come from and where we are, we see things are possible. But one may ask, what happened that Rwanda stood up, confronted all of these challenges, and moved on to where it is today? What is it? What is the magic behind it? What did Rwanda have? There was nothing after genocide. There was nothing. The whole government had collapsed. The population had been driven out, taken to the neighboring countries. All resources had been taken. The government's money, resources, everything had gone. There was nothing left. Even human resource had been finished. So what was remaining? Nothing. What we had was a few survivors, a few returnees from neighboring countries, internally displaced, militias still killing people left and right, a useless UN force around, NGOs that were part of the genocidal regime also around, doing nothing but, making the situation worse. So what did Rwanda have? what would we base on for us to stand and move on? Nothing. By any means, you will look at nothing. Nothing. There was nothing at hand. So what we had, in reality, in the truth, if we have to tell the truth, it's just a single leader that was capable of handling this very unfortunate situation and saying, no, Rwanda must move on. So when we strive to understand what leadership is, I think looking at where Rwanda has come from, where we are today, gives us a good answer to that. When the liberation struggle started in 1990, October, it was started by a handful of people, young people. The faculty didn't mention it. Most of us were in our late 20s. In fact, I was in my late 20s. And others, most of them late 20s, or early 20s, for that matter. A handful of young people who had been refugees for many years in a neighboring country in Uganda, for 30 years, whose parents had been in exile for 30 years as refugees, tormented, harassed, with no future, with no hope of ever having a nation they call theirs, decided to desert, to disengage from the army they were serving, they had been in Uganda, and to invade Rwanda. For anybody who knows some basic military science, will say these people were adventurers. Will say these people were adventurers. How can a handful, hundreds of people, maybe 400 people on the first day, decide to invade a country that is, strong, that has allies, has friends, has an army, has assets, armor, air force, and everything, and think they would win that war? It is very difficult to perceive that, but that's what happened. It's what happened. That's what happened. A handful of people in their hundreds, around 400, in October, 1st of October 1990, decided to launch a liberation struggle against Rwanda. It was suicidal. As I said, it was like adventurous, because the military forces, the military capacities were not equal. The government was strong. We, the rebels, with a handful of arms, decided to fight what we thought was right. When the war started, in just about a week's time, the government of Rwanda was supported by powerful nations. The French came in with their force. They airlifted their force from Central African Republic. The French usually have bases within their African former colonies. So the French came in. Mobutu, who was the leader of Zaire then, also sent in a big force, a division. The French, the Belgians, Mobutu's soldiers, plus the government forces, all converged on a few soldiers that had crossed over from Uganda, the Rwandese who disengaged from the Ugandan army and decided to come to liberate their country. They converged on us in the eastern part of Rwanda near the border of Rwanda and Tanzania. Within just a matter of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Igiye kubwira abantu bo muri Australia ngo uri umututsi ntabwo bakumva icyo uvuga icyo ari. Ugiye kubwira abajapani ngo uri umuhutu babona ko wasaze ntabwo bumva icyo uvuga. Ubabwira ko uri umunyarwanda na passport uzanye iriho u Rwanda. Ujya hari akavuga ngo ariko kwita umututsi cyangwa umuhutu ngo turi fier yo kubyita. Uramaze niba uri fier yo kubyita. Ariko ugomba kumenya agaciro kabyo. Ugomba no kumenya agaciro ko kuba fier ahubwo yo kwitwa umunyarwanda. Mu Rwanda tuvuga ikinyarwanda. Ntabwo tuvuga igihutu, ntabwo tuvuga igitutsi. Turifuza u Rwanda rumeze rute? U Rwanda rw'abanyarwanda. Ntabwo ari urw'abahutu, ntabwo ari urw'abatutsi, ntabwo ari urw'abatwa, ntabwo ari urw'abanyamahanga, ni urw'abanyarwanda. Kubabarira gushaka kugira ngo dutere imbere, dutere intambwe mu gihugu cyacu twubake, ntabwo bivuze ngo turahemba abicanyi, abantu bicanyi. Ntabwo ari cyo bivuze. Nta nubwo bivuze ngo abakoze ubwicanyi bakoze neza. Ntabwo ari byo. Ariko na bamwe mu bakoze ubwicanyi iyo babyicuza, iyo basaba imbabazi, abantu borosaho tugatera imbere kuko turashaka igihugu gitera imbere. Naho niwoherereza amafaranga interahamwe nitukugwaho nawe tuzagu. Babandi rero babahanze aha bababeshya, bababwira ngo nushatse gutaha bakamubuza ngo buretse ngo ntutahe ngo ibintu biri hafi gutungana. Ngo bazabanza bavaneho Kagame ryari se. Ryari byanyuze mu yihe nzira se? Iya demokarasi se? Iyi ntambara se? Iyi barabashuka.